And welcome back to the Hot Lap. We are talking Haas's new signing, Esteban Ocon. It wasn't really the greatest of surprises. Perhaps it was, we're all notified slightly earlier than we thought. I guess they just wanted to get it out there before the summer break. So Ocon is going to join Britain's own Ollie Bearman in an all-new driver lineup at Haas for 2025. Haas has confirmed its driver lineup for next year. Ocon will join the team as currently, up until today, he was unemployed for next year because Alpine said, see you later. Now, team principal Ayo Komatsu, he has a long history with Esteban Ocon, having been his race engineer when he had his first run in Formula One with, Lotus, which are now Alpine. And that was 10 years ago in Valencia, of all places. Yeah, Lotus not around Formula One anymore. Sadly, Valencia neither. And he said he displayed his talents back then, coming off the back of strong performances in the junior categories, said Komatsu. He just won the 2014 Formula 3 Championship. Now, Esteban's gone on to become an established talent in Formula 1 and, of course, a Grand Prix winner, Hungary 2021, albeit earned that victory. Absolutely. He beat Sebastian Vettel. The caveat being, I think, the bowling ball that was Valtteri Bottas at the first corner. But anyway, a win's a win. Now, the experience he brings, not just from his own talent, the team principal Haas went on. He said his own talent base regarding his talent, but also from working for a manufacturer team would be advantageous for us in our growth as an organisation. And as we know, Haas had already confirmed the departures of both Hülkenberg and Kevin Magnussen. So it kind of makes you wonder that whether they signed Ocon last week, allowing Kevin Magnussen to say, see you later, and they kind of just announced it and crossed the I's. No, crossed the T's, dotted the I's. Wow, what's wrong with me? So Komatsu went on to say, it's vital we had a driver with experience in besides Oliver Bearman next year. I think it is. Haas has learnt its lesson from the Mick Schumacher days in his first year, and a certain Russian driver don't want to take on two rookies at the same time. I think Jordan also learnt that from 1997 with both Ralf Schumacher and Fisichella, albeit Fisichella wasn't a complete rookie. He did have a few races with Minardi the year before. But anyway, Esteban's only 27 and Oliver Bearman, quite the young driver too. But Ocon, though, leaving, obviously, the I don't want to say safety net of Alpine because it may well be anything but, because he's lifted the lid on the Alpine exit reasons. So as we know, he is now signed. He's now going to Haas for 2025, which was announced today. He's going to leave Alpine after what was a 5-year stint with the Enstone team, with whom he claimed both his first F1 podium finish, that's Sakir in 2020, and a maiden career victory, which we just spoke about, Hungary 2021, if you forgot. But speaking to the media, and that includes Planet F1, ahead of the Belgian Grand Prix, Ocon revealed that he opted to leave Alpine a long time ago and cited the team's lack of improvement in certain technical areas as a factor in his decision. He said those weaknesses, have been troubling Alpine for 3 years and remain on the 2024 car, which has collected just 9 points across the 13 races of the season. To be fair to the team, though, it was arguably the slowest car. Even Haas, I think, appeared faster near the beginning of the season. So I think Alpine have done a fairly good job making the most out of their situation. But Ocon went on to say, the decision for me was quite clear. So there we go. He said, we've achieved good things. We've achieved things a little bit more difficult at times. For sure, this season has been frustrating. It's not a secret to anyone. No one's happy inside the team about where we are, and there hasn't been enough of an improvement on some terms, on some technical issues that we had years ago. Now, many think the ultimate chopping board came down. He was for the chopping board with Esteban in the Haas team because of the fact that he can't get on with the teammates. And we saw that with Sergio Perez, Ocon v Perez. However, I put as much blame on Sergio Perez as I would Esteban Ocon when they were both at Force India. And then Ocon obviously left Force India / which was soon to be Racing Point, because a slightly less talented driver by the name of Lance Stroll, hashtag nepotism, is the reason why he lost that drive. And it does make you wonder, though, if Esteban Ocon had stayed in what ended up being the pink Mercedes, I think for 2020 or whatever, they would have been, let's be fair, 2020, 2021 or whatever, they would have been pretty awesome, wouldn't they? But there we go. Ocon is off to Haas, which is doing, well, let's be fair, better than it's doing a lot better than Alpine. And I quickly wanted to share this with you, though. I thought this was quite, I thought this was fairly telling. Someone's put on Twitter, I want you to just think about that for a moment. Imagine how much pressure was or is on Ocon's shoulders as a mere teenager. His parents gave up literally everything for his karting career. He said in an interview that he felt as if he didn't have the right to fail. He had to succeed. And there's young Ocon there, and he has succeeded. He's got to Formula One. He is a Formula One race winner. Now, if we quickly just have a look at his stats, by far the worst Formula One driver. Yeah, born 1996, the year Damon Hill won the title. Wow, that makes me feel old. He's a young 27 then. Okay, he's no champion. He's done 146 races. He has won one of them. He did have that break, remember, when he was the Mercedes test driver. 3 podiums out of 146, but sadly no poles. No fastest laps, 425 points. His best qualifying on the grid is third. 22 retirements, and he's been in 8 years. So I don't think that's too much to snivel at, really, if I'm honest. He's had 3 podiums, obviously the win, a second and a third. Most podiums in the season was 1. Best finish is first. His average finish is 9.74 for those that like stats. So I thought that was fair. I thought that was a fairly interesting thing about Esteban Ocon. The race have got a couple of interesting articles as well. Like why Haas have gone to sign him so early. As they know, he's going to join Ollie Behrman. And he's been ousted, though, due to, obviously, the Alpine's team preference for Gasly. One of them had to go, it was felt. Who has perhaps bested Ocon by a small margin, they're saying, in their total time together. That can easily be overplayed when Ocon is concerned. And while it's arisen an issue with several teammates and flared up in a big way at times, it'd be unfair to say it is his dominant trait, and I completely agree. He is aggressive, potentially too aggressive, particularly against his teammate. But I think they are... Initially, I was, oh no, they're signing Ocon, it's going to be really, really bad. But... I don't think it's as bad as we think it is. And I think Ocon, to be fair to him, I think Ocon will do fairly good at Haas. That's at the time of recording, how long for the Belgian Grand Prix. But anyway, I digress. So, Esteban Ocon with his Deadpool helmet incoming for the Belgian Grand Prix, looking fairly awesome. Why did Haas sign Ocon? I think he was the best driver available. They were not going to get Sainz. Were they? The only other driver I think maybe would have been a Mick Schumacher back. Don't think that's going to happen. A Valtteri Bottas, not sure, but he may well be destined for Williams, depending on what Carlos Sainz does. I don't think there was any chance of Carlos Sainz going there. And they wanted, I think, with the minute Ollie Behrman signed for Haas were going to want an experienced driver, and Ocon is that. And it's quite interesting that he says with Alpine. They've noted like all these fundamental differences. Here's a tweet on Fifth Gear about it, which I'm going to share with you. And we've already gone over this though. And Ocon revealed that his Alonso's and Ricciardo's feedback were ignored by Alpine when it comes to car development, and that they were not taken seriously. With Haas, he felt the team is 100% behind him, and he's loved. Which is why he has no regrets leaving Alpine. So Alpine, rumours also that Alpine are going to be changing. Their team boss soon as well, which is like, oh my gosh, which is a bit crazy. It's one of the lead things. Oh, hello. 11 minutes ago, significant Sergio Perez development emerges with 2 drivers in Red Bull contention. Breaking news, pretty much. Let's have a quick look at that as I click on the Planet F1. So Sergio Perez is facing one of the most important weekends of his career, with a poor outcome likely to lead to, as we know, immediate see you later, Perez. Now, with just 21 points scored in the last 7 race weekends, Perez's low scoring has left Red Bull vulnerable. Hints in recent weeks have suggested that the last races before the summer break would be used to assess Perez's form, and that decision is likely to focus whether or not Perez is the right man for the job. But sources close to Planet F1 indicate there's no clear favourite between the 2 drivers. Speculation regarding the nature of the alleged contract clauses indicate he needs to be within 100 points of Max Verstappen. Addressing the possibility that this weekend won't be his last, he said, yes, correct, it's not going to be my last. Hey, there we go. I know what basically is in my contract, and I know the team trusts me. Do they? And I know where the main focus is. I haven't. So okay, let's scroll down. I feel like the whole team is fully focused on getting back on track. I'm sure they are. I imagine the two drivers are realistically. It's going to be, well, 2 of 3 of them are going to be Tsunoda, Liam Lawson, or Daniel Ricciardo. So I don't think there's too much. I don't think there's too much of a surprise there. But this was the story I was actually going to be talking about. Is Alpine are set for a new team boss with Bruno Famin departure imminent. It is absolutely a mess at Alpine. Ocon is now gone. Gasly has decided to stay. Is that because Gasly didn't have too many options available? Ocon was forced out, but as he said himself, I guess you're going to have to take him on face value. He was going to leave anyway. Yeah, a bit weird, but not looking good at Alpine now, is it? With obviously Bruno Famin gone, they got rid of Otmar this time. They got rid of Otmar this time last year, and Alan Permain this time last year, and they are arguably having their worst season to date. Oh, Alpine, and with that, potentially they're getting rid of their Renault engines and using Mercedes engine next year. If that's not waving the white flag for we give up, but we're still going to be in F1, I do not know what is. So, give us a like, give us a subscribe. If you're not subscribed, please do. We'll keep you up to date with F1 news, etc. Also, rally news. It is the European Rally Championship this weekend as well. And we'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much.